Man, oh man,
What a round.
That was a heck of a round right there. You know, Dan, I would almost have to say that was historic. I mean, that was incredible.
I totally agree, mate. I mean, the thing, even the crowd, they knew that how powerful this afternoon was. I don't remember on round number 2 ever in any other year seeing a standing ovation from the crowd.
You know, that was from the crowd. Nobody asked for it. They just stood up and gave it to them. And you know what? They gave them what they deserved. Those girls put on a show. And I tell you what, I don't like to use the word awesome that much, but they were awesome. Yeah.
You're 100% right. I mean, it was like standing out there on the ground out there today. Every different direction you looked, there was something going on.
You couldn't commentate fast enough.
Right.
I mean, there was too much action going on all at the same time, and every girl doing something positive.
And it just continued to build, you know, like it just...
Like a crescendo, man.
100%.
I mean, I tell you what, it was a waterfall of activity, and I tell you what, I thought it was incredibly exciting. You know, talk about exciting. You know, the girl that was working wounded, what a performance she did. Let's bring her in, Vicki Wilson right here, and we want to do her first so she can go to the sports medicine and get tended to. You were awesome today. I was telling Dan, I don't use that word very often, but, you know, and I kept telling you, you were working wounded, and I tell you what, how did the shoulder feel? Because your performance was beautiful.
Yeah, I think we had a really good session. I think we got a lot accomplished.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting...
Okay, stop. That just sounded like you were playing golf, like, oh yes, and it went down the turf way. I just popped it over there. You dislocated your shoulder. You're back out in the pen. It's not like you were riding a yet broke horse. Let's...
Okay. Well, when I was standing out here backstage before I was about to walk on, I was struggling to hold back the tears. I was struggling.
I could see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I was
could
making
tell
sure
you
no
were
one
in
could
pain.
talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
All right, one question I want to ask you. Like, I loved so much of what you did. We wouldn't even have time to cover it all, but, you know, I love the leading exercises that you were doing, getting that horse to travel with you right at your shoulder, and then you incorporated that after you had that horse so fluid right over those obstacles. Man, and he got very willing.
Yeah, well, I think I had to really think outside the box with that little horse because he's not naturally a brave horse. It took to the end of today, to drink from a bucket. Like, he was scared of the bucket. And he doesn't naturally move his feet. When I leave the round pen, he stays still. He's not a traveler. He's not naturally curious. So that's something that I really had to work out for him. And leading, you have your obvious leader. He likes that support on the ground. So to be able to do that, give him the confidence and then hop back on, I think that worked the trick for him.
You know, you and I were talking while you were riding, and we were just watching you, and it wasn't like he was bucking like an NFR horse, but he was getting around. You got one arm, and Dan leans over to me and goes, man, she's stinky. I mean, you were staying right in that saddle, and it was very impressive, and you were just kind of moving with the horse, just like he was as if he was loping.
Yeah, well, when I was in America 2 years ago, we did a little bit of bull riding, and I became addicted.
Well, you know what? What did I tell you?
Yeah,
it's
100%.
funny you said that because I said she's riding just like you would ride a bull. You know, I rode bulls for quite a few years. Boy, really pushing with your hips, really going right with him. And I tell you what, that horse really started to trust you. You know, you were breaking through and getting that bravery coming through. Great work.
The other thing that I really liked, you know, when you had that snaffle on, there was times he was a bit sticky on it, but you really managed to kind of get out of his face and let him soar. Because when he went to kind of wanting a fight with his face, he wasn't hitting anything because you'd given him enough to go forward, and I think that was really good to see.
Yeah, it's a real issue with him is the pressure on the halter or the bit. Like, he is very, very sensitive, very reactive to it, so I've got to be very careful, and he is a lot happier in the bridle than he is in the halter. The halter, he's just a little sharp, and the turning and the stopping. So to be able to even get him to move his feet because he wasn't happy about going out by himself.
You brought the other horse in, used the herd instinct, that really helped him.
Yeah, and I still had to put quite a lot of pressure on, more pressure than I've ever put on a horse to be able to get that forward momentum. And it's not something I would normally do, but again, I had to win that little bit of a fight so that tomorrow he goes, okay, I understand. And when he gets a little sticky, I can go, okay, dude, we're here together, and hopefully he'll start to fight for me.
You know, you took the horse outside, freed him up a little bit out there. You know, you let him find that he was going to be okay out there. I tell you what, that horse is starting to really look to you right now for that support. And I tell you what, you did a great job of giving it to him.
Thank you, and I think he wants to be a natural jumper. He did some good jumps out there.
Boy, he did. When you went over those barrels, that
Yeah.
was so exciting. Well, how are you feeling?
Yeah, as soon as I walked out there, that adrenaline just kicked in, and yes, there were a couple of times it was a bit sticky, but we worked through it, and I've come off stage now, and yeah, it's starting to hurt.
Starting hard again. So, well, you know what? Again, you got a big support system with your sisters, your boyfriend, and the whole darn crowd. I think she's won them over
Yeah.
for sure. And you know what? It's you're neck and neck right here. We got the results. I mean, you're 8 points behind the leader. I mean, we're dead heat right now.
Yeah, but all the top three, all 4 scores actually, that's incredibly close. Like it's any of our go tomorrow, and I think like everybody's done a fantastic job.
Well, they're a
and-
bunch of great gals.
Yeah,
that's
and the
for sure.
breakthroughs everybody's had, it's going to be really exciting. And I think, like all the girls said, they're not so worried about the scores. It's about the horse being happy, and we're finishing all this together. And
That's exactly
wow,
right. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're so proud of you, and I tell you what, you were incredible, and it should be a fun, exciting, actually thrilling ride tomorrow. So we're looking for you. Hey, get a great rest tonight. So
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, get to feeling better.
It's every 2 hours tonight instead of every hour. I mean, I get a bit more sleep tonight.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you
All
very much.
Well, our New Zealand Cowgirl, which is close to home for you, I tell you what, you guys coming up from down under, you know, it's always very impressive. I don't know if there's something in the water down there or something, but, you know, great job.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch. And the next girl that we have coming up here is Kate, and I'm excited to hear what Kate's got to say about it day to day.
Well, you know, Kate, I tell you what, you know, you went out there loose and cool. I think you had a great game plan today, you know, and, you know, I got to hear a little bit about it before you went out there. I got to talk to Luke and your other brother as well, and it sounded like you had the plan and you put it through, and I like the way you got never abusive, obviously, but more assertive with that horse and sort of breaking through.
Yeah, you know, yesterday really tried to get on the same page with that horse, and I felt like today we could, you know, he kind of, whatever I approached him with, he settled into, and it helped a lot that I tried to, you know, really work on that start a lot. That's on these young horses, you know, that's that beginning. And if you can really get that beginning solid, whether it's starting them to go or getting soft, you know.
Got it, man. You know, I always say, from good beginnings, things tend to come naturally.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you were doing. And you were very patient. You did not get in a hurry to get on. You were waiting, and just I'd see you almost get on and say, you know, not quite yet.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that really paid off in the end.
I think it did too, because he never really got to a point where he scared himself or he thought he needed to get scared.
And he's the kind of horse that could have.
He's the kind of horse that could, for sure. Yeah.
Really good, so.
One thing that I was really happy with, I had that bridge in there, and I never really tried to get him to get up on it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of there.
Yeah.
And by the end, he made a point a couple times to get up on that bridge.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, that shows you something about
He's
how
trying,
he thinks. You know.
Kate, tell me some of your tactics. I know that some of the other girls went outside on their colts today. You opted not to. Any particular game plan around that?
You know, I would have liked to, but I felt like I had plenty to work on in there. And in the time frame, you know, that's one thing I really was worried about, was like, if I get out there and I get in the middle of something, am I going to be able to get back in that gate within the time frame to stay out of the penalties?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and we saw penalties levied against Rachelle for exactly that. And then, you know, one of the things I mentioned while I was doing commentary was I say it's just a pure Newbert deal with, you know, dragging the sack with the stirrup. And I watched the guys do that at the Horsemen's Reunion when I got a chance to work with them starting colts. And, man, that's cool. I think it really helps those horses.
I think it helps a lot. And he handled it good, you know, but some of them really struggle with that, you know, that can be real hard for them.
Now, what do you got that with, a carabiner, or what do you got that with?
It's just like a little single hobble on the stirrup, so that I don't have to take the time to run the rope all the way through my stirrup. And if you do that, it kind of eats up your rope, you know, running it through there. It's hard on your rope. And so spending a little time with my brothers at the Parker Ranch this winter.
Yeah.
They had that going, and I'm like, I like that. That's handy.
Man,
you can just clip
when
it
I saw
on
him
there.
do it, I started doing it.
Yeah.
It's cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It
I
worked
really
out good.
liked it. But I thought the horse, you ended in a good spot. You were going over obstacles. You were achieving forward movement, and going to that Hackamore, I think, really helped that old pony.
I think that was really key. He kind of fought it with his mouth just for a second, and then he settled in there. But I feel like I have plenty of communication going with that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll put the snaffle back on.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'd stick with it probably. Yeah. Because he was happy with it, and he was not happy
It
with
suits
that
him
snaffle.
better, and I'll
It
go
does.
with it.
And as the 3-year-olds, their teeth are changing, and that's troublesome in an event where you have a time limit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, I tell you what, you are again, 2 days in a row in
know,
the
right?
lead right here, but only 8 points in
Yeah.
front of Vicki, and then Sarah is just literally 13 points behind. I mean, so it's neck
real
and neck.
close.
And Rachelle receiving some penalties, but definitely not out of it, because tomorrow's the big point day.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to really see all of these colts, what they're going to offer for you girls, because as we've all been there, like it's amazing. You get out in front of those obstacles, and I mean,
wow. Yeah.
right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just you don't
Yeah,
know
you
what's
don't know.
gonna
You don't
happen.
know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'll be visiting with your brothers, your dad tonight, just kind of going over. in your head
Yeah, I can't
a
wait
few
to hear
things.
my dad's
I
reaction
couldn't
on
Yeah.
this.
either. Oh, I would love
I
to
see
see
that.
saw him standing up there looking, and I'm like, oh, he can hardly contain it.
That's tough. You know what? You're amazing out there, and you girls got the standing ovation. I'm gonna tell you, you deserved it. What a show! And I tell you, by the end of the day, when we were closing, I had chill bumps. It was really great.
It was
So,
really fun to hear the crowd that excited.
Yeah.
It was great.
And it was fun to know that, everybody was getting a lot done. There was excitement
It
for
was.
everybody.
It was everywhere. So,
Yeah.
hey, congratulations.
Thanks
Looking
very
forward
much.
to tomorrow, and good luck.
Yeah,
Thanks
good
very
job,
much.
Kate.
Well, Kate Newbert, quite a hand, and we knew that when she came in here. And, a lot of people thinking maybe she would be the one to pull it off. And right now, 2 days in a row, she's on the leaderboard up on top.
Mate, can you imagine what it'd be like sitting around the table with some of these girls and their families tonight, listening to that
Oh, man.
conversation?
You know it's got to be interesting. But every girl was incredible. Every girl was good. And again, of course, Rachelle Valentine got the penalties levied against her. Let's bring Rachelle in, because you had a great performance. But again, you had a little bad luck. And I'm going to tell you something. I do not want that to affect you. You've got to put that behind you, because you're just a mere few points behind, and tomorrow is the big point day. I mean, you could smoke them. I think you got the horse to do it.
The advantage that I think I have tomorrow is that I'm hoping to get on my horse pretty quick tomorrow, because I do have about 7 minutes time penalty, and if I can get on him pretty quick, saddle him up, move him out a little bit, get on him, instead of spending 20 minutes in the round pen, making sure he doesn't buck, I'll be able to use that energy that he has when he's fresh and just comes out in the morning, and use that to my advantage out in the big arena. So that's my plan.
Well, a great champion takes advantage of every opportunity, and sometimes adversity can just make you do something better. So, I would go out there, I wouldn't even think about it. I would just think, how many minutes are you going to have? 30?
About 37.
30, you got 37
Yep.
minutes. So I think she's correct in saying getting out it pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, the boldness that big grey horse, shows and has shown, I think, kind of from day one, and again, kind of, built on that today in that round pen with pushing stuff around and going, over the top and to the point of eating the top. I think that he's literally going to eat that obstacle course up tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you're right. I wouldn't wait, and I would probably, get out of that round pen and go to work pretty quick because of that little time penalty. And that
I
way,
agree.
I think you'll be right where you need to be. But, you had so many highlights today. You were the first girl mounted. You were the first one yesterday and today to walk, trot, and canter. You had great forward movement out there. So you got to feel pretty good, though, about a lot of things.
Yeah, I think we're going to go into tomorrow. I feel pretty good as long as I have that, freshness for tomorrow, which I will have because we won't have a lot of time in the round pen. I think I'll be golden, I'll be able to teach him to steer out there and teach him to go forward. And if I can get him to flow out along the rail, we'll be in good shape.
Well, I tell you what, as you can hear, when they levied the penalties, you got a lot of fans here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people pulling for you. And I tell you what, you did a great job today. Standing ovation that the girls deserved, and I tell you what a historic round you put on today. It was phenomenal. Hey,
Thanks,
I guarantee you, we're pulling for you.
Yeah,
right
good
here.
job,
Thank you very
mate.
much. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Well, there she is, Rachelle Valentine, with a little disadvantage, but adversity sometimes can just make you dig down and try harder.
100%, 100%.
without
And
a
talking about like sort of, you know, from a day yesterday, I mean, not that it seemed to bother Sarah at all, but comes back today and
Oh,
just
wow.
has a killer round.
Well, I don't think it bothered her a bit. I think she was the one reading the horse correctly,
Yeah.
and everybody else wasn't. She kept saying, I like this horse. And amazingly, she proved she was right
Yeah.
today. So let's bring Sarah Dawson on right now. You know, Sarah, what a round. I was actually blown away. And you kept telling us, I like this horse, you know. And, you know,
You talked him into it.
oh, I'm gonna tell you what. And by the time, man, when you finally got up in that saddle, I was like, man, wow. And of course, her technique, soft hands, loose reins, you rode that horse beautifully.
Well, thank you. I am very happy with the progress he made today, and I feel like it kind of took me that first ride to kind of have that
Yeah.
big breakthrough with him. It was after I rode him that first time, and then
Amazing.
he kind of got a lot more mentally
Yeah.
with me. I mean, he's a super defensive horse, like on the ground, and has been real tough there. And so I think the safest place is on him.
You know, I was so amazed with your patience on that horse. And you know, you had Richard over there. I saw y'all conversing quite a bit, which I thought was so cool. And you just waited till the time was right on that horse. You had to give that kind of horse a little more time.
I did, and I didn't even know if that was the right time when I got on him, but
Yeah.
I knew that I was running out of time, and if I was going to ride him, I needed to do it, and I didn't think any more groundwork was going to make any more difference today. Like if I could have put him
Yeah.
away and brought him back out again,
Yeah.
but I mean, I just kind of had to do it, but I think though, because we put so much foundation and preparation yesterday, and then
Yeah.
the first 30 minutes today, it worked out. So I'm happy it did.
Yeah.
It worked out beautifully. And then my favorite part, I guess, well, loping in the round pen, but boy, when you went out, wow. Boy, those reins just draped, that softness, and you know, just using those small corrections, one rein at a time, really helping that horse, really supporting that horse. But the way you rode that horse, I think that really caught the judge's eye, really raised your points up. When Dan and I came in, we said, who's first? We both just went, hey, Sarah Dawson, man, you stole the show.
That was a
Amazing.
textbook ride there today on a colt that was tough, and it just totally showed what foundation that you put on him yesterday really played for today. You know, it was you just built. You weren't riding him for yesterday. You were riding him for the next day or the day after, the week after. So that was cool to watch.
Well, your skills just were so apparent once you got in that saddle, and I mean, it was something to behold. But you know, you guys got a standing ovation. There was so much action going on everywhere in that pen. You girls were incredible. I believe I call it a historic round.
Yeah,
I mean, it was amazing.
That's what people have been saying. I can't wait to get the DVD because I mean, I only know what's going on in my pen. So, but I've heard a lot of people say that just out of all
really
the
great.
Road to the Horses, that just this round for all four of us was very special.
It was just
So,
wild, you
yeah.
guys. And I know your dad's proud of you, and he did a great job on the outside, didn't he?
He did. He's been practicing a lot.
Well, I tell you what, I think everybody was impressed with what you did, and I tell you, you stuck by your guns on that horse all the way through. Really came out today. Hey, there's a chance to take home that gold bucket tomorrow. So
You and I know it's anything can happen tomorrow. So.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
congratulations. We're certainly pulling for you.
Thanks.
Incredible job today.
Can't
Thank
wait to
you.
see tomorrow. Get some sleep.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah Dawson, you know, I tell you what, golly, that girl, when she got mounted, man, she went to garnering some points.
Yeah, everybody could see, how that paid off today.
Yeah, paid off like a champion. Well, you know what? Hey, you won't want to miss the round tomorrow. You know what's at stake.
Yeah.
A world championship buckle. It's going to go to one of these girls, and nobody knows who's going to get it. It's definitely a horse race.
100%.
All right, well,
100%.
hey, I'm Craig Cameron.
I'm Dan James.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow at the World Championships of Road to the Horse.